Hello and welcome to the Magic the Gathering podcast. I'm your host Nick with Josh, and today we're going to be talking all things Mark Rosewater's Blogatog teaser for Tarkir Dragonstorm. Got a lot of cool tidbits on here today, Josh.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
some exciting things on here, and I know we kind of left our last episode off as kind of a teaser about some things I had planned for this set, Dragonstorm, and happy to announce that I am going to be official Magic the Gathering ambassador for this set. So, yeah,
oh wow, that's such a big deal.
yeah,
Such a
uh,
big deal.
yeah.
In the
So
big leagues now.
I have a lot of Tarkir Dragonstorm content, coming at you guys. So looking forward to it. But let's get right into this teaser that Mark put out. He does this for every set. I love kind of breaking down and theory crafting cards and talking about what things could be. And I just said I'm an ambassador for the set. I do get some stuff early. I don't have anything right now. As we're recording this, I don't have any cards in my hand of the new set, so I only know what information you guys know. So I don't have an advantage at this. So if we get some stuff right, don't we can't blame the
We're good
ambassadorship.
at guessing. You've guessed several cards in the past. You guessed a
Yeah,
few, so
yeah. So
kind of excited for that.
yeah, so Nick, why don't you go ahead and start with the first one, and let's go through this thing.
Yeah, so the first teaser we have is a cycle of Dragonstorm enchantments. So they did spoil the sieges the other day,
Uh-huh.
the Abzan Mardu siege. So I'm not sure if that's what they mean, or do they mean like, do you think if it's a cycle, it's going to be like Mardu
Yeah,
Dragonstorm, or
that's what I think. I think it's going to
okay,
be the clan a clan cycle of Dragonstorm enchantments, and they each do something. I don't know.
I'm interested to see what that means. I mean, they'll obviously be themed around the clan's mechanics. Maybe it'll create a dragon every turn, but it'll be like a dragon token specific to the clan, or maybe it's just effects like after effects of it. I don't know. I'm kind of
Yeah,
excited to see that.
kind of like the what I'm kind of guessing is like the ascendancies that we had from the Khans of Tarkir set. So
Okay.
each clan had an ascendancy, and it did certain things. Like the teamer one is all creatures you control have haste, and
And you got to draw a card when they
draw a
enter.
card.
Yeah, that one's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I think we'll see something
Okay.
like that. That's my guess.
Yeah, or maybe it's if it's not that, I think that's pretty spot on. If it's not that, maybe it's you get some effect for how much of that clan's effect you have. Like Teamer is all about having four greater power. It's like every turn, if you have so many guys who are four greater power, you get another thing or
Yeah,
counters or. But I'm thinking something along the lines of that, something to be like these are the clans, combination. Uh, and then next we have two planeswalkers. So I've been listening to the story on my way in today, Josh. Um, they've already in the story they've shown that Narset's no longer a planeswalker
yeah.
through the cards that have been spoiled, but they did show that Ajani and Elspeth, and both spoilers, Ajani and Elspeth have been featured in the story. So I'm guessing it's them, but it could be some others. Have you gotten a little
Uh,
bit further ahead in the story than me?
no, the only other thing I would think is we get a Ugin Planeswalker card, because I
Yeah.
think
So, oh yeah,
he's going to be he's going to be integral to the set. So
yeah, it
yeah,
could be Sarkon, but Sarkon was featured as a creature,
yeah.
so
Sargon's already a creature. I think my guess I think is Ugin, and I mean Elspeth is an obvious choice, and then obviously Ajani is another good choice. So I think it's two of those three. I think.
okay, yeah, Ugin's got to be one of them. That's just
Yeah.
too on the nose to miss. So, okay, all right, so we got our predictions in for that. Um, some counters in the set: Decayed, Lifelink, and Time. So this might be the most exciting thing on the predictor for me because I've been really excited to see how we're going to do some new things and make the clans look a little different. And I'm thinking maybe the Sultai Brood Dragon's just going to like spew out Decayed counters on your opponent's creatures or something like that. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So it encourages attacking. It basically virtually kind of kills your opponent's stuff. They can't block. It's an evasion thing. So
Yeah.
that's a really cool black themed, like you can't block. Also, you should attack me to like incentivize you to get your stuff off the board. And that's energized with red if I can force you to attack. So big fan of that. Lifelink, that's just interesting to see that as a counter because we're getting
Yeah.
ability counters. That might mean we'll get more ability counters in the set. And then time, does that mean we're getting suspend or is that
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah. I mean, Fate Reforged was kind of all about time travel, so there's that some sort of element there. Yeah, I'm not sure. it's exciting to say the least. Um,
I have a
but
Joyra deck, so I really want some more suspend
yeah,
cards. And it synergizes with dragons if you want a big bunch of 6 drops, but you want them to get in play, you can just invest 2 mana early and get a dragon later. But I'm just guessing. It could
yeah,
be
and like going
infinite things.
kind of going back to the first the Dragonstorm enchantments cycle, like this lifelink counter, like one of the ones, like maybe Mardu has put a lifelink counter on one of your creatures or something. One of the Dragonstorm enchantments maybe does that, so that's kind of
Okay.
and like maybe the Sultai one you put the decayed counter on something. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that a lot. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm super excited for time because I need maybe we'll get a non-wibbly wobbly timey-wimey time travel card. I would really like
yeah,
some
yeah.
more of
Maybe
those, just the few I have.
like maybe we'll get some maybe some reprints from the Doctor Who set, like in universe type versions of those. So standard
In
evil.
universe, all of history all at once. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That same art, just a bunch of dragons and people. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious about that. But then after that, we have a card that can tutor one of 2 other cards. So this makes me think of that creature from, I think it was from Fate Reforged. It had the ability to search your deck for like a Vial of Dragonfire or some other garbage artifact. It was like just an uncommon, but everyone's excited because it got 2 cards, and one of them was existed already, and the other one came later. It was like a little like limited card ish. I don't even know if it was really good in that
Yeah.
limited, but I'm assuming that might be a play on that card. Maybe it'll make it better. Maybe it'll be some 2 drop that searches for 2 weird equipments that are more like an upgraded version of it. I don't know. I don't know the card off on my head.
Yeah. I'm
I
kind of
know
stumped.
it
I
got
mean,
Vial of Dragonfire.
I'm kind of stumped on this one because it like literally could really be anything. Because we don't know any of the other cards in the set. The old Planeswalker decks, they used to have a card in there that would search for the Planeswalker. Um, you know, something to that effect, maybe. That's really all I can kind of think of.
Those designs can be really fun. So I liked those designs in those decks. They're pretty fun because you like, oh, I lost my walker, but I have the spell to get my walker back
Yeah.
because it fetched him out of the graveyard too. I found the card. It's Renowned Weaponsmith. It either got you a Heart Piercer bow, which was in the first set, and then it could get you a Vial of Dragonfire, which was in the third set. So in between, we got him, and then he got the Heart Piercer bow, and then he got the
Yeah. So
Vial of
it searched
Dragonfire.
for a card that didn't exist yet until the set after. Yeah.
Yeah, and it synergized with him. Kind of a cool card. So maybe we'll get like a cooler version. Like, yeah, he'll be legendary weaponsmith or something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm cool on that. Then we have a legendary enchantment. Now I feel like that's that unique. I feel like he
No.
was scrounging a little bit for that. I mean, maybe
Yeah.
there's some. I mean, I could see there could be many things that could be legendary. So okay, a Hydra that uses a clan keyword. So this one's interesting to me. They did have Hydras. I think the Hydras in the setting looked like Cobra head-ish, because there was like a morph creature that was played a
Mm-hmm.
little bit that it turned up and it had 5 counters on it and died. It turned into a bunch of snakes. So
Like
maybe it'll be a Hydra with
my initial thought with this one is wasn't bolster one of the mechanics, and
yeah.
hydras do a lot with +1/+1 counters and stuff. So that's kind of my where I'm thinking on that one is like an
I was thinking
abs.
Outlast, but we were both thinking Abzan for sure
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, like Abzan, Hydra, I think.
Yes, that'll be an interesting card to say the least. Just they always make Hydras because that's the iconic creature type for green. But sometimes I wonder if we shouldn't be doing that one. But it's interesting. I could see a lot of. I like it when they do something weird, like here's a Hydra with a bunch of T-Rex heads, or here's like some other
Yeah,
weird thing. So it's kind of fun. We just need a Hydra that's full of siege rhino heads,
yeah.
just a rhino Hydra.
Rhino Hydra, yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then we get a common archetype theme gets an ability word. So, sorry, a common archetype theme gets an ability word. So, I'm guessing what they mean is like, so my brain went to prowess initially, um, because they wanted to get away from prowess and they've been doing like instant and sorcery only. So I'm wondering if this is the time they're gonna be like, well, this is where we brought prowess in, and we want it to just be instants and sorceries. So now we're like, all right, there's a word for that now. That's my guess. What do you got, Josh? You spy any? You smell anything here?
So
And
a common archetype, do they mean like does he mean like a deck type, like archetype, like mill or like aristocrats
oh,
or um yeah, I'm not sure how to interpret this. I think you're probably on more of the right track than I was, but yeah, I'm not really finding anything that I
Yeah,
because
so I guess that would be like
Mill already has a
Spellslinger.
keyword. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not sure.
aristocrats, I can see something like that. Maybe they found a way they wanted to exploit. Exploit was a mechanic before. Now they've like
Mhm.
found a better word, but they want to be like sacrifice. Maybe sacrifice a creature is now reduced to like some other word. I
Yeah,
don't know. It seems like a kind of a waste of some tech. Maybe it's a tech saver. I don't know.
yeah, I'm
Maybe
not
it's like
sure.
eat a dude or something.
Yeah, I'm not
I don't
sure
know.
where they're going with this one.
That's interesting. I'll be excited to see what it is. Um, an instant that generates 5 effects. So is
Yeah,
this like all in one command? Like they were like, we're gonna do commands, but how about we just do all of them
Dragonstorm
together?
command.
Yeah.
Yeah, before, well, I read this and initially thought, um, so they have the sieges, right, where you um, choose a clan. So we saw, I think, Abzan and Mardu on a siege. It was a black-white siege. My initial thought was maybe like a five-color instant that you choose one of the uh, clans and it does that effect. That's where my head was at initially. I'm not sure that that's a good
Oh, I
guess
got it.
right
So they
now.
did the charms last time, right? So this
Uh-huh.
is just Tarkir charm or something,
Yeah, there you go, maybe.
something
Um,
like that. But and yeah, they now that they add the little flavor text on cards like they do in D&D, now it'll just say Abzan, and like
yeah,
list them out. That could be cool.
yeah, that's
It
gonna
makes
be
me think of the coalition card from the Prismatic, the 5 color deck from Dominaria that had like it was like a 7 or 8 mana instant that did
oh
like a ton of
yeah,
different things. It makes me
yeah,
think of that.
yeah,
Um,
same. Like Dragon Storm Charm or something, Dragon Charm.
when it
I don't
says
know.
it's his text here is a little interesting. It says generates 5 effects. So does that mean like you get them all together? Like you
Yeah,
don't
I
choose, it's just like all of them?
it could be either. It could be modal or where you choose one, or it could be all of them. But also it could just be like put a 1/1 soldier, a 2/2 zombie, a 3/3, five different types of tokens. So
That'd be
um,
fun.
yeah, I mean
I'm
because
not against that.
we've had those cards before where you make three. I think we've seen what three tokens made
Bestial
by a
Menace made a
character.
snake, a wolf, and a
An
elephant, I
elephant.
think.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
then we've
fun.
had like that ox card, the card that's like you either get an ox, a chicken, or a whatever. It's like a
Yeah,
removal spell. So I like those. Those are fun.
yeah. So I mean, it could
Okay.
be as simple as that, but yeah,
Yeah, what if it's just like the card's called like Dragon, Feed the Dragons, and it's like it makes just 5 different livestock type creatures. It's like
yeah,
a,
yeah.
an egg, whatever. That'd be cool. Dragons get a new tribal enchantment based on a popular zombie one. So you had a good prediction for this, Josh. What do you think it is?
Rooftop Storm, but before,
Dragonstorm. It's
yeah.
perfect.
Except Dragonstorm, the card already exists, so
Yeah,
I think
it won't be called that.
you said like the Dragonstorm.
The Dragonstorm. L.
It's like a legendary or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
there's
that's probably the legendary enchantment if I had to pick one. That would be pretty epic.
what are some other zombie? That we got the one in Aether Drift, Curse Cloth Wrappings, but that's an artifact, right?
Yeah.
I think that that was my like initial want is I wanted a curse cloth wrappings, but for dragons, because I like that card for zombies. But we've
I
got
was thinking it could be Endless Ranks of the Dead. It's not a
yeah,
good card,
yeah,
but it's like popular. So for every dragon you have, you get a couple more, and then a couple more, and then you're
right,
like, oh my
yeah.
gosh, you got so many dragons. I think it would be less satisfied than with that than the rooftop storm, but
There's also
um,
necro duality. We already have a
oh
dragon
yeah,
that does that. When it comes into play, you make a copy, right? A token
yeah,
copy.
Miram.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be wouldn't be a stretch to get something like that. I
Yeah, that one
think
seems pretty likely.
they should call that card Double Dragon or something.
Double drag. Yeah, oh, I think you got it, man. You should be doing this. Oh my gosh, that's like so spot on. Here would be a wild one. This is just funny to me because I had the thought come to my mind. If it was a bridge from below, but
Oh,
it's like for dragons.
yeah.
It's like, we banned this card. Let's just make a better one for like Legacy because we're sick of them making 2/2s on the ground. They just need to like kill them faster with dredge. I don't know, just something awful that nobody wants. It could be like one of the curse of shallow grave. Like when you attack somebody, you get a 2/2, but this time you get a dragon, you know, and I
Yeah,
get like a really really punishing like attack this player commander style card. But if it's in the set proper, that would probably be a little too good. I don't know. There's actually quite a few. I'm looking at the list right now. There's quite a few
oh yeah,
powerful choices. So
yeah.
even Liliana's Mastery would be good.
I think it's
So
probably going to be. I think it's probably the rooftop storm thing.
yeah, that would be sweet. You can play all your dragons at once. It works with a lot of cards that already exist.
Yeah,
So
it has
that
storm
would
in
be
the
the
name, so
yeah. It's too good.
yeah.
All right, a new instant and sorcery subtype. Okay,
So what
arcane,
we've had lesson right from
trap,
Strixhaven. Oh yeah, trap from Zendikar.
Zendikar,
Uh,
arcane,
we probably
lesson.
is it just like clan or something?
Do you think that's what it'll be? The
Like
word like
yeah,
clan?
maybe. I don't
Hmm.
know.
What are they trying to do? Oh, right. Oh, and then we have the tribal types. So I don't know if that even I mean tribal or kindred, kindred, excuse me,
Yeah,
kindred
yeah,
typing. So that's interesting too. But it's a new type.
yeah.
So I guess like what's the benefit of that? So is that just so like let's say some of the instants for each clan have their clan type. So it's just well, it's one word, right? They said a new type.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's clan,
So
huh?
just be clan. Maybe like it costs less for like sharing a color with a certain clan or something. I don't know.
What
Because
if it's a keyword for you know how all those cards will say like the ooze card or the dragon card that's like you can have any copies of these in my deck. Maybe there's like they're just gonna make a
oh
subtype
yeah,
for
yeah,
that, and it's just gonna be like numerous, like instant numerous or something.
yeah.
No, instant and sorcery. So it just goes on anything.
Oh
I
yeah,
just don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do with this because it has to be a relevant tag. So that means it has to trigger abilities when you cast it, or it has to be targetable in the graveyard, is why they want that. So
so
I'm
arcane was that all instants or was that sorceries as well?
arcane was instants and sorceries.
And
I'm
that
pretty
just kind of
sure.
that just reduced the cost. There was like splice onto arcane, so it
Yeah,
kind
it
of
let
reduced the
you.
cost for some cards.
It didn't reduce the cost. It just allowed you to splice onto the card because the cards only work with other
Okay,
splice cards or other arcane cards. And
yeah,
then trap was just like a type, so you could find it out of your deck with your tutor. Because I think all the traps just said trap for flavor, but some of the cards like let you go get a trap or care about you playing a trap.
um,
Um,
well, you got to cast them for free if an opponent searched their library, or
yeah, that was their
you got
mechanical identifier and
yeah, you
stuff.
got like a reduced cost. Maybe it's something like that.
Yeah, it could be something flavorful, like just like, hey, here's a not trap, but maybe like I don't know. That's perplexing. That could be so many things.
It could
I'm
be.
assuming it has I don't think it's going to be flavor because they really don't like doing that. So I'm assuming it has some mechanical ramification. I'm interested. I want to
Yeah,
know. That's probably one of the more like,
I mean
what on earth are they doing?
it's pretty big to do that because it's only been done a few times before.
Yeah, I can't
So
think of more than like five probably times they've done that.
yeah,
So yeah, okay. So that's a spicy one. Maybe there's some more mechanical complexity to come. Um, some rules. Now we're onto the rules text that'll appear on cards. This one's pretty cool. Being a turtle fan, whenever you cast a turtle spell, untap this creature. Okay. So I'm assuming this is a commander feeder card. There are not many turtles in Magic, and they're mostly not good.
well, we just got one
But
in
we
Ether Drift. We just
we
got
did. We got
the
the
robot
Ninja
turtle.
Turtle,
Yeah,
and and the Ninja Turtle was right before that, right?
yeah.
So they're
We got
stacking them up.
yeah.
So
Um, what's the is there a turtle from the original cons block there? Was
yes, there's
meandering
two.
tower shell? Was that in that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep. And then there's Meandering Tomb Shell because they went through time because it was in Paper Forge, and then when they went to Dragons, it was just dead. So it was
yeah.
just a big common 1/6. So now we get another one. So I'm excited if this is a sweet card. I want to play it. I was kind of when Bloomborough happened, I was like, oh, we didn't do turtles. We
Yeah.
went frogs, and I like frogs too. But I was like, oh, we didn't do turtles, and now it's like, oh, I mean, I'm liking the flavor here because yeah, I just want to see what they do. All the turtle designs they've done in Magic for the most part are pretty flavorful. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, what are we gonna do here? And why is this turtle like spinning every time another turtle gets? I don't know. Sounds wild. So all right. So hype, and then as long next card is as long as there are three or more different kinds of counters among creatures you control, comma. Um, so a payoff for counter types. So
Yeah.
this might be a new. Maybe Abzan this time isn't all about +1 counters and it's about kinds of counters.
Oh
So
yeah,
maybe the
maybe.
Decayed is an Abzan thing. It
Yeah.
could be. Uh, maybe to diversify it so it's not just like +1/+1. They're like, a lifelink, a this, a that. And then, because I mean, they kind of played in that space in the first Tarkir, if you remember, like those cyclic creatures that gave all your +1 counter guys an ability
Hmm.
if they had a counter on them. So now they're like, well, we have ability counters, so let's just throw abilities on. So
Yeah.
now we have a payoff for that.
So what comes after that comma? Creatures you control um, are indestructible till end of turn.
Yeah,
Maybe.
see that.
Um,
Yeah, you fortified your defenses, so now they're indestructible because that's kind of the theme of the Abzan is they outlast everybody. I can see that.
creatures you control have vigilance. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
I
that's
think
the
it.
Abzan Dragonstorm card.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just another ability, as well
Yeah,
as the counters. I think that's probably what it is.
I'm locking that in. Maybe that's how they make the Abzan cooler this time. And it kind of plays into the Abzan's theme because they're supposed to be like diverse, like they accept in other cultures.
Yeah.
You'd have a bunch of just mixed ranks of creatures from across Tarkir in their ranks, and that'd be a really cool way to make it like, oh, we're all together, and we're stronger together. So next text, you may cast it without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 8 or less. Okay. So it's some effect of a creature or maybe a spell that lets you like reveal a thing and then you get to cast it for free if you reveal it from something. Like maybe that's an enchantment or something.
Yeah,
Like,
that's my initial thought is an enchantment that grants you something, or maybe it's like a um, maybe this is part of the like rooftop storm thing. They kind of you know tweaked it a little bit so it's not entirely broken. Where if dragons are 8 or less, you get to cast it without paying its mana cost. Um, and if it's 8 or more, then you have to pay it. I don't know, or
I know
maybe
that's
get
so goofy because like what are you stopping when it's like what's cost 9 and 10 that's so much better than
yeah,
what costs 8?
yeah,
That's just funny to me. Like you can cast everything, but you can't cast the Dragon specifically. Like
yeah, or
I don't know, it's
Draco.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Maybe it's a card that costs 8 and lets you play a free thing because it's okay-ish to do that free thing because it's mana gated. So maybe it's like some big old sorcery. Like there is like Apex of something. It was like a 10 mana card from one of the core sets, and it was like it's 10 mana, but then you like reveal so many cards, like 7 cards off top of your deck, and you play on this turn, but you get 10 mana. So maybe it's something like that. Like you can cast a couple cards, some like
What
extra
if
work,
what if
random
it's
sorcery.
ooh, maybe it's like a Ugin planeswalker ability or something.
I could see that.
Like reveal the top card of your library, and if its mana cost is 8 or less, you play it for free.
Oh, that
I
would
don't
be
know.
like the inverse of the Nicol Bolas. You remember the God Pharaoh Nicol Bolas? It was like one of its pluses was like exile cards from the top of your opponent's deck, and then you get to play the card for free.
Uh-huh.
So maybe it's like reverse. So you do it to yourself with
Yeah.
Ugin. You're like, hit my deck. So they're capping it, so you can't just be like flip into Emrakul or
Right.
something
Yeah.
silly. Okay, I could see
Yeah.
that. Oh, that might be it. I,
Yeah.
I think we're onto something there. Okay, so like a Ugin Planeswalker ability. I think we got that one. I think yeah, you're good at this. All right. If you put +1/+1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game. What?
Yeah. Okay.
What is that?
Uh,
That
oh,
seems like an
what
easy
if it?
task.
What if? Okay, so go back to the spell that has 5 things, 5 abilities or
Oh
whatever,
yeah.
and each one of them is just put a +1/+1 counter on a creature. And so then, but there's also text on there that says if you put +1/+1 counters on 5 dragons this way, you win the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Okay,
that it's all one. That's all in the same card, maybe.
that'd be so wacky.
Because they've done that before. They've had multiple of the same. You could choose, and so yeah, I think
Okay.
I think
Oh,
maybe
okay.
all 5 things is just put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control.
I figured it out. I figured it out. Okay, so they want you to have like assemble all the dragons of Tarkir, right?
Yeah,
So you have to put a counter on a dragon of each different color. So it's like put a +1 counter on
a blue
up to,
dragon.
put a +1 counter on up to 5 dragons of each different color or something, and then if you do 5, you win.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
so they
So
can
then,
word it like that
so it's kind of like coalition victory and okay, I see.
with a little bit more of an achievement.
Yeah.
It's kind of goofy because like if they don't have the color restriction, then it's like super easy. You just like do like death by
Oh
dragons and have your
yeah.
commander, which is still a job to do, but it's like well that maybe not that. I'm sure you could do it easily with a couple of cards, but okay, I can see it being funny. I don't know. That's that card, man. They're like so much. They're like, oh, people want coalition victory so bad. Okay, we'll make a new one for
Yeah.
cons that's goofier and an instant.
Or maybe
So
would it be clan victory?
Maybe
instead of coalition
Tarkir
victory.
victory. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's bizarre. Whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature. What?
yeah,
Whenever a creature you control enters, if you cast it, destroy that creature.
yeah. So
So
like,
this is like a drawback on a demon or something? Like
yeah,
what is?
yeah. I feel like it. So it's obviously an enchantment or uh, a creature. It's a permanent of some sort, right?
I guess it can't be a creature, right? Because if it were a creature, it was a demon, it would come in and kill itself because it's like whenever a creature enters, if you cast it,
Yeah.
destroy it. So it can't be a demon. So what type of awful aura is this?
Um,
Oh, maybe it's
I mean,
okay. So you know, like Assemble the Legion. Maybe it's like an Assemble the Legion, but like you're locked in. Like you just gotta make tokens because the tokens are fine,
yeah,
right?
yeah. The
So
tokens, yeah. That's what I was getting ready to say. Is that like it?
okay.
This is the token matters card. It seems like, um, yeah. It
Or is
feels
this
like,
all the Dragon Storms? They all just are like epic, quote unquote, epic spells. You're locked out of creatures, but you can keep like
yeah.
tapping
It's
dragons out.
yeah. It's really weird to me. This it's different design space for sure.
It's cool. It's interesting. Also,
Yeah.
you can just like, what's that card? Harmless offering it off to somebody. You're like,
Oh
you don't get
yeah.
to play creatures anymore.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, it doesn't say this turn, so yeah.
Yeah, it's
I was gonna
hanging
say maybe.
around.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it was like a one of those where you choose, one of the three, and the last one's like really bad. But
Oh, okay.
but yeah, it still could be that really.
Yeah, it could be like a Liliana style enchantment where
Yeah,
it's just once it gets to this point, you don't lose, but like
right.
you're not
Yeah,
able to do anything else
yeah, yeah,
limited. I don't know.
yeah.
That's you're getting creative here. It's like what if you it's so good, but then you can't play creatures anymore.
Or like maybe it's like create X tokens, but it's like a severely undercosted card. But then like after that,
That's it.
yeah, yeah,
That's all you get. You better win with instants and sorceries after this point, or play another one of those, I guess.
yeah,
That's kind of cool. All right, at the beginning of combat on your turn, uh, if you case, I think you
yeah. Here's this
mistyped
typo.
that. If you cast both a creature spell and a non-creature spell this turn. Okay, so a payoff for doing two types, so a weird prowess.
Yeah,
So maybe that's like a mechanic trying to be for Teamer because they played creatures and non-creatures. It was kind of a spell slinger thing, but you needed a big dude. So like a mechanical payoff. It makes me think of in Neon Dynasty Kamigawa where they were forcing, or they didn't force you. There was like a reward for having an artifact and an
yeah,
enchantment for certain
yeah.
cards. So this is like, you cast a creature and a non-creature, you unlock an ability. So maybe it's like, I don't know, some weird new ability word to try and like make some game choices,
Well,
vary your deck up
that
instead of
seems
like just all in.
that's so there's a comma there, so there's text after this. Um, this seems like kind of like a teamer ascendancy, maybe, where
Yeah,
if you cast a creature and a non-creature spell, creatures you control get are unblockable till the end of turn or something.
yeah. I'm leaning towards something teamer. It feels like that's the
Yeah,
clan that wants both dudes and not dudes.
right.
So okay. Um, Next text. Then, if creatures you control have total toughness 20 or greater. So is this the butt version of like one of those survive was like test of endurance style cards where it's like, you have this many, you win the game, which that doesn't seem like a lot of toughness, but that's what I'm guessing. Some
So
sort of card that
there's something before this and then something after this. So um, there's a cause and then an effect with this one. You do something like put +1/+1 counters on creatures, and then if your creatures have toughness total 20 or greater, they all gain trample or something.
oh, it could be. I was thinking more like Miles Aria, but I hear what you're saying. That makes sense to me too. It could be like softer. It might not be another win the game card because they've already said they're
Yeah,
doing a
yeah,
couple of those. So. Yeah, maybe it's just like, hey, you've amassed so much booty, you can attack now. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it's you remember there was a card in the first Tarkir that was it was like a tower defense or something. It was like a green enchantment that said creatures it had the Doran ability, but it also fire breathes. So maybe it's something like it helps you amass tokens or toughness, like you said, and then suddenly I have enough toughness and I can just all my creatures deal damage equal to toughness instead of their power.
yeah. And so go back. Let's go back a little bit to maybe this. Let's see. Do a common archetype that gets theme that gets an ability word. So creatures
Oh,
dealing their toughness rather than their power gets a keyword maybe. Would
Yep.
that be an ability word? I'm not sure.
Uh, that's a static ability, is what that would be. Like flying's a static ability, so I think
Yeah.
that would count. Maybe it's gonna be like here would be the dumb name for it, like butt punch, but I don't know what.
Yeah.
Donkey kick. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure
If they
either.
have a good word, I'd love to
But
see it. That would
yeah,
be
so
cool.
that's kind of my guess. How about that? We're gonna go back to before and yeah, we
Ability
need a
roll it is the door in ability.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm into that. I mean, we've been using it enough and it's been appearing left, right, center, that,
Yeah.
I'm not against that at all. So next card is during your end step, warrior tokens you control have, this token can't be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes me think of Varchild. You remember that card?
I don't.
Okay, so it's a commander card and it's based on an old card. It's like Varchild's War Raiders. It
Okay.
had cumulative upkeep, give your opponent a creature.
Oh.
And then they got survivors, and I think once Varchild died, you get like all of them back. And now they made a new one. Varchild was a legend. At 3/3, when it hit somebody, you'd make them three survivors that couldn't block, but they also couldn't attack you. And then when Varchild died, you could get all of them under your control.
Mm.
So this kind of makes me think of that.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe not. It says they can't be sacrificed, so it makes me think they're giving them to somebody for some purpose. But they need them around to get some bonus effect. But like they
Well,
also can attack you.
I thought it was some sort of like enchantment that lets you make warrior tokens and sacrifice them at the end of your turn. But this card then also said that warrior tokens can't be sacrificed. So when that enchantment leaves the battlefield, they would have to be sacrificed at the end of that turn.
Oh, okay. So like a escape route. Like I found the
Kind of.
naturalized, but it's not too late. Now I can
Yeah.
get rid of all.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Huh. How would it work if they're decayed? Would it work if they're decayed? Maybe it makes like zombie
Um,
warrior tokens, and then you
so
can't sack them.
Decayed gets sacked at the end of combat, I believe. So they wouldn't make it to
Okay.
the end of the turn regardless. I believe
Well,
that's
this
how.
just says the token can't be sacrificed. Period. Right. So it doesn't
No,
matter when in the
it
turn.
says during your end step.
Oh, during your. Oh, I see. So only
Yeah,
during your end step.
yeah. Warrior
Oh,
tokens you
weird.
control have this.
Yeah, yeah, I hear
Right.
you. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm missing that. Sorry, I understand now. Okay. Huh. I mean, or maybe it's just like a goofy enchantment to make like all your weird payoff cards just a little better. But it's only warrior tokens.
It is really. It's very specific. Like, yeah.
Specific. Okay. Then I got to look up all the warrior token cards. Like, but if you copy a warrior, like if you make something that's a copy of a warrior, any warrior, you can keep it too, right? If it was going to get sacked on the end step, or if you kiki jiki a warrior.
Yeah.
Okay. Weird. You've got some very spicy text. Like I initially when I read through this, I was like, whatever. But the rules text is like throwing me. All the rules text is all over. Okay. Next rules text. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a card name, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle. Okay. So a creature that searches for another creature, and then you put it in your hand.
Yeah.
So again, this gets me back to that, endless copies of myself cards that we talked about earlier, but it wasn't relevant for that. But like a relentless rats that when it hits you, you get another copy of the relentless
Yeah.
rats, and then you keep. That would be kind of weird
Or
and fun.
maybe,
People love those.
or um, like a. I'm thinking like dragons, like that type.
Okay.
And so like, let's go back to the relentless rats example. So relentless rats that says when it deals combat damage to a player, you search your library for a card named. But the card name is like a rat lord, where all the rats get +1/+1, or like when a rat deals combat damage, you draw a card or something. I feel like it's
Okay.
something like that, like something to help out the rats, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this is just another way. Maybe they went through multiple angles of how to make dragons feel like they were storming up. Like, here's another dragon, here's another dragon. Like that card we
Yeah,
referenced earlier that gets two cards, maybe gets two dragon cards. So you're like, every turn there's more and more dragons. Like they want that to be the
yeah,
aesthetic of the set. Maybe. I mean, I'm excited to see what it is. That's spicy. It is, and it's a lot of effort. Like getting in for damage, seems trivial, but as someone who's played Commander and stuff, just hitting somebody one time with like something to get an effect is like a big pain in the butt. So,
yeah.
you got to dodge all the instants. So hopefully
Right.
it's a pretty cool payoff to make it worth the while.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it
Okay.
puts it right into your hand too. So.
Yeah. So you're just boom, ready to go. And then the last piece of rules text we have is spells you cast have delve. That is scary.
That's very scary. Yeah.
Like, is this like an omniscience enchantment that has delve and then all your things have delve?
I
Like,
feel like
that
this
sounds
is
really crazy.
I feel like this is like the Sultai ascendancy or something.
Okay.
The new Sultai ascendancy.
So you got to get your 3 colors, then you're like, boom, all my stuff's delve.
Yeah,
So
well, I think
let's
maybe like this one. I don't know if I feel like this one needs to cost more than just 3 mana.
agree because I'm thinking you just like plop that after you milled like 15 cards. You're like, Sultai Ascendancy.
Yeah.
Ah, Evercool costs 15 less. You're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
I don't know. If they want it to be powerful, that's how you would do it. But maybe they'll be safe and make it 4 or 5 mana.
Yeah.
That is a powerful effect. Just delve is just it's a weird mechanic to be tied to a clan, because it's just like it's you can't have a bunch of it. They talked about it like you can't have a bunch of delve in a deck because it eats itself.
Uh-huh.
A delve one time or a couple times is very
Yeah.
strong. So
And
I
I mean, the interesting thing, if you look at this, it's spells you cast have delve is a complete sentence. The S is
mhm,
capitalized. We have a period. Like this is all the card says. You know.
that's it. That's it. Boom. That's an enchantment. Yeah, I think you're dead on. I think that's the Sultai enchantment. If it's 3 mana, oh boy. It's like at least the challenge is to get 3 colors, but I don't know if you played any eternal formats, but colors usually aren't really the issue.
No.
So spicy. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
The
we have
only other thing I could think is we get a brand new, um, Tasigur card, or that type of card, like a legendary creature,
okay.
like kind of Maelstrom Wanderer type card, where I think that's my other guess is another like very powerful legendary creature. So
Yeah, I could see that. Like it's just like a legend. Yeah.
yeah,
That'd be a cool way to make delve your theme and not maybe be too broken, but I don't know. That's pretty powerful. It'd be safer than putting it on an enchantment because you can't like kill
yeah,
enchantment.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm flabbergasted at that one. That is some spooky text right there. Okay. And then now we're into creature types. We got several creature types from the set. First one, monk or dog monk. So the Inoc, I think, were originally showcased in Tarkir. That's the dog people for Magic. Kind of like how we have Leonin for all over. There have been dog people
Hmm.
in a few places and jackal people, but not those are not dogs apparently. Uh, so I think this might be the first one that we see in the ranks of the Jeskai, because I think in the previous iteration they were part of the Mardu and maybe just the Teamer. So I think this might be the first one we're seeing in the Jeskai, to my memory.
Yeah.
Then we have
The
yeah,
monks were a big part of the Jeskai clan, weren't they?
yeah.
And that
I
would
think
be
all
Ty.
monks were
Yeah,
Jeskai.
yeah.
Yep. So that's just another crossover there. Then we get an elephant druid. So that's just another elephants in the first cons. I think we're all in the Teamer clan, but then in some supplementary sets, I believe they also showed them in the Abzan, and some of the art I've seen from this set shows them in the Abzan, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So this just I think is probably a Teamer one because it's a druid, and that's usually the more Teamer aligned thing. Maybe that's the first time we've had elephant druid on a card, so that's kind of unique. I like elephants. I've always been a proponent of Loxodon class. I've always loved them. I've still to this day like Hamza. I saw it's like the first like kind of playable elephant commander, and I'm still kind of waiting for my one because elephant's like my favorite animal. So I'm like, please give me a sweet, sweet elephant for me. But um,
I just like when you say elephant, the like Loxodon Warhammer is the first card that comes to mind. You know,
bam.
back when damage used the stack.
Yep. Well, in that card they eroded because it used to say it had the old text of like the old
Yeah.
lifelink, and then they're like, no, this one says lifelink because we're printing it so much.
Yeah.
It was good for years too. I think only in like I don't know last 5 7 years it fell off, but that card was
Yeah.
hell of an uncommon, man. That card was. I've been playing that. I've seen that card. It was all the time until probably like 7 years ago. Like, sweet card. I mean, Shadow Spear now makes it look like who cares, but
Yeah.
awesome card. Um, and then next one, Creature Yeti. I think Yetis have been on Tarkir a lot, so it's just more Yetis here. Probably more than most planes we ever see Yetis. Maybe
Yeah.
we got some in Valheim or Valheim,
Kaldheim.
Kaldheim, right? Kaldheim. I think we maybe got some there, but we hardly see Yetis. Yetis had a
Yeah.
little bit of showcasing in early Magic, so it'd be cool to get a cool playable one. I mean, we have the creature type. Let's make some sweet Yetis,
Yeah.
some sweet creatures. So cool to see that. And then Jin Cleric. So this reminds me of something from this set. So Tarkir, they did a lot of. There's a whole bunch of stuff online. If you go look on YouTube, you'll find some fun videos about like them working with the cultural consultants and fixing some things. So like
Mm-hmm.
Naga used to be a type, so that's now Snake. They've removed the Rakshasas because Rakshasa is like being tiger people was like a whole thing from
Mm-hmm.
some 70s show that happened, and they're like, that's not really what they are. So they like got rid of those. So we won't see any of those in this set. So if you see Rakshasa, it'll probably be on a demon, not a cat demon. But also they got rid of a Freet. So now a Freet, as we knew it in Tarkir, should always be a Jin. So just so you guys are aware, the looks for Jins and Freets from previous Tarkir should all be now. They might look like that, but they're all going to be Jins as far as I'm aware.
Mm.
And this one being a cleric, I think maybe ties it into the Abzan faction where they were more of an Ojutai, Jeskai clan class before. Yeah. So, and Jin and Ifrit really came back in Tarkir. They hadn't been around, I think,
Yeah,
I don't know, early Magic,
like
Mirage style
Arabian
time.
Nights. Yeah,
Yeah, so they really came back in this setting. So it's cool to see they're continuing it. I mean, I'd like to have that type in Magic. It'd be cool to see it a little bit more prominent because, Mahamodi Jin is like, it was in it was in core sets for a long time. There was a big picture M10. It was like this big Mahamodi Jin that looks super powerful, but the card's just like a vanilla flop.
yeah,
So, but I'd like to see some powerful Jins. So it's nice to see that creature type still living on to this day. Um, Zombie Advisor. Not much to say about this one. I mean, that's just
yeah.
goofy. Cleric of the Undead. I would like to check you into the coffin here. And then Kieran. So Kieran, is a type that I think has only appeared in Kamigawa and in Tarkir. And it's fascinating to me because in Kamigawa they had like a cycle of rares, like saviors of Kamigawa that were all Kieran. And then I don't think we saw them all the way up until Tarkir. And then Tarkir made like two random like common flyers that do like nothing. And they're cool. I don't nothing against them, but it's just I'm like they're just like we got to throw one in there. We
Yeah.
have this type. We need to have a Kieran, and it just I'm saying the same thing about Yeti. I don't need Magic to like clamp down on its creativity, but I'm just always like, huh.
Yeah.
So cool to see. Noteworthy. Like it's a rare one. We don't see these often. So if you're having the Kieran tribal deck, you got another one finally after 10 years or something. And then we have creature snake shapeshifter. So some Sultai guy. I mean, they actually put in a tribe on it. Maybe it stays a snake because usually shapeshifters don't they usually just say shapeshifter and they don't have any other type.
I thought, yeah, yeah,
Let me check that. But I think that's the case. Usually, if you're a shapeshifter, you're not anything else unless you're like planning on keeping your type. So maybe you become a thing and but you're still that tribe. Let's see, shapeshifter, not enchantment. Boom. Yeah, yeah, because I think there's a pirate from a set. Oh, there's a few. Yep, and then you retain a type. It's this, but it's an assassin. It's this, but it's a. So maybe it's just a way to make it so your shapeshifter is more relevant.
So, but the other shapeshifter cards are just like a class, like not a like creature type shapeshifter, right?
So usually it's just creature type shapeshifter, and they don't usually have a tribe or a kindred association.
Yeah.
But if they are shapeshifters and they turn into something else, like most in Magic are to do, they keep the type. Like Jawari shapeshifter is an ally, and it copies an ally, but it retains the ally type and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
So
But it's not
kind
like
of goofy,
it's not like a core ally. It's
right?
yeah, shapeshifter still. So
Yeah.
yeah, this I think is something new.
And then we have artifact creature chimera. So that could be super fun. There's a whole cycle of old cards. They're like 4-mana 2/2s, I think, from way back in like one of those earlier sets we talked about Mirage or Antiquities or something. They're all like 4 mana. I think maybe one of them flies, but they have like different keywords maybe too. And you sacrifice them. They're 4-mana 2/2s, artifact creatures, and you sack them and you put a counter on another creature that gives it +2/+2. And I think they're keywords. So at the end of the day, you can pay 12 mana for like a 6/6 first strike flying banding or something awful. But that's just funny to me. I think chimeras are cool historical monsters, so I'd like to see what we can get out of that. But cool to see that showed up. Yeah, brass talon chimera, stuff like that. Then we have ape snake. Ape snake's back again. There's an awesome commander card that is an ape snake. It is thieving amalgam. I guess that's the only ape snake.
Yeah,
so
there's only one.
And now we have a robot ape snake. That's amazing. So don't know what that's about, but I'm interested.
I didn't realize till just now that it was an artifact creature. I was
I glanced back and I said artifact.
Yeah, I was focused on the ape snake. But yeah,
I'm so curious about why that needs to be an artifact or what. Like they killed the one from Commander. Like, let's make a robot one. Why? I don't know. Just guess.
Well, it could be like a statue, you know. like
Oh, okay.
that can be animated or something. Like I don't know.
That makes sense. That makes sense. There were a bunch of like random animatable artifacts in
Yeah,
Tarkir. So, and then the last type, Zombie Snake Warlock, legendary creature. I'm assuming that's Sidisi.
yeah,
She's already
yeah.
been confirmed being back. That's got to be her. But she's a
Yep.
Warlock now instead of like she was like a warrior or something maybe in the past. But yeah, so or maybe a shaman, which is a type that they're also getting away from. Oh no, she was a zombie Naga, so now she's a zombie snake
Snake
Warlock.
Warlock.
And in her non-undead version, she was a shaman. So Warlock is the new shaman.
Yeah.
Uh, and then finally, names of cards. These are the last 10 things. First name, All Out Assault. Kind of surprised that's not a card name already.
Yeah.
Um, but okay.
Is it?
Just sounds like another overrun or a red like attack
Yeah,
phase
or
card.
multiple combats of a
Maybe double
card.
strike your team.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems like it could be anything.
Definitely,
There's a card
definitely,
from
definitely combat related.
there's a card from original Ravnica, so maybe it's like a sorcery of that. It's like when your thing attacks, you then have to sack a dude. If you can sack a dude, you can attack again. And they've done that a couple times on Legends recently. And like just a
Yeah.
spell, like attack, attack, attack would be really scalable. Rural Truths.
Yeah.
Don't know what to
This
think about that name.
that sounds like a
It reminds
Pokemon.
me of Painful Truths from
Zendikar.
some Zendikar, yeah. Because and maybe it is another play on that because I love that card. I play it all the time. It's got Converge, and for each color you pay into it, you draw a card and lose a life. It's
Yeah.
3 mana
What's
spell.
I oh, it's like I'm guessing this is like kind of a duress card.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see that. You just like look at your hand, steal a thing, like transgress the mind style one maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that. All right, Desperate Measures. Just sounds like a wrath or something like that maybe.
Oh, it kind of sounds to me like creatures you control gain protection from a certain color or something. You know.
Oh,
I
really?
I
Okay.
I, I yeah, I went like protection spell.
Maybe it's
But yeah, maybe it is a kind of a wrath.
it's something that maybe it's like a sacrifice a creature, destroy a creature, is what it sounds like to me. Like I have to do this,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's worth it. Like a bone shards type card maybe. I don't know. Maybe it is protection. There's a lot of options there.
My mind went
Um,
immediately to protection. So yeah.
I mean, we get a lot of those, so I wouldn't put it past. We get a ton of protection. It's like your counter spells now are keep my thing alive in every color.
Yeah.
So Dragon Knowledgeist. Okay, maybe this is the card that gets like two cards. It's like he
Oh yeah.
studies two different dragons. Like, I study
Yeah.
this dragon and that dragon.
There you go. Yeah, I
That
can see
that'd
that.
be cool. 100 Battle Veteran. Maybe this is the guy that when you hit somebody, you go get another 100 Battle Veteran. Because like Tarkir's just full of
Oh,
warriors, so it's just like tons and tons of them.
it's like the
Like
relentless
endless.
rats, like
Yeah.
persistent petitioners card. Where you
And
can
since
just
it's a
have.
war world, everyone's just been warring for years, so there's hundreds of them. No, that
I
can't
no,
be
I
it.
feel like this is just. I feel like this might be like a legendary creature or some sort. You know, he's just
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we have a Lightfoot Technique. So there's Flying Crane Technique was a really cool like 6 mana sword instant from original Tarkir that give all you guys like double strike and flying for
Uh-huh.
like 6 mana in Jeskai colors. So this sounds like that or
Yeah.
like some sort of removal spell associated with the Jeskai.
Now
Um,
I feel like this is the it gives your a creature or creatures flying at least, and another ability. I think you're on the right track there to begin with.
yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
And a Rescue Leopard. What?
Yeah, with a leopard on Tarkir, kind of.
Well, so snow leopards
Oh yeah.
are in that demographic of like what I think is inspiring the teamer. So maybe like they're like, here, let's come get you on our big rescue leopard. I
Yeah.
saw some of the image art of all the like random mounts they tried to make more, and they had like a very small headed, like but big bodied leopard that had like a saddle on it. And I was like, why is its head so small? But whatever.
Oh
You took like the cutest of the big cats and turned it into like this weird mount. But yeah, so it's probably that. If you go look at the art, maybe you put the art up. It's like the funniest looking like. But yeah,
I'm thinking it like it's basically like a Saint Bernard has a little like whiskey barrel, but it's a cat instead.
I'm telling you, when you see the art, the head is so small, a big barrel would go right really good there. It would make sense. I'm into that. So yeah, some teamer card. Maybe it has saddle. Maybe saddle will be a part of the teamer.
Oh yeah.
I like that mechanic, so I like
Oh
seeing
yeah,
it.
I do
It's
too.
cool to
Yeah.
me. Okay, and then seize opportunity. Um, what does that scream to you?
Uh, it's I don't know, man. Like this seems like a burn spell of some sort, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
It made me think of like the Gaunty style cards, the ones that like steal a card out of your deck, but you can play it
Yeah.
later. Or maybe it's like a threaten style effect where it's like I take your guy and you attack with it. Or maybe you
Yeah.
like yoink some artifacts. Maybe it's like an artifact steal thing. Those are the things that come to mind for me. It just makes me think of Villainous Wealth, because that was such an iconic card from original Tarkir that they'd want to pay homage to. So maybe it's something in that vein, which does the Gaunty-esque thing. But
Yeah. We went
that's just
to
some
we
ideas.
were talking about playing cards from the top of opponents' decks, right?
Yeah,
So maybe
that Ugin.
we were talking yeah the Ugin ability we were talking about that earlier. Um, maybe this is something similar.
Okay. And then we have Stillness in Motion. So that sounds very also Jeskai to me. Very like some sort of like
Yeah,
martial art, like you're,
stealthy. Yeah.
yeah. So that's just my guess. I have no idea, but it sounds poetic. I actually love that name. Um, and then War Effort. I thought that was a card already original um, from original battles Battle for Mir Battle for Mirrodin. What's that set called?
Mirrodin
Not Battle.
besieged.
Mirrodin Besieged. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I guess it's not a card, but there was a card that I swear was named something like it was a bad card, but
Yeah.
it made me think of this. But I wonder if this will be like some sort of like I don't know, like you make food or something. I don't know. For the war effort, isn't that like what people
Oh
said when they
yeah.
would like
Yeah.
ration and
I
stuff?
was thinking of like you get so many treasure tokens, but or um yeah, something about treasure tokens, or you add mana, X mana, and you can only use it to cast creature spells, or um, yeah, I don't know.
Some sort of ration. Maybe it builds up. Maybe it's like an enchantment that like gives you a food or a treasure, or maybe it like saves them up.
Or
I don't know.
maybe
I'm trying to think of what war effort meant
how
for War
about
Two.
you choose. You can either make a treasure token, you can make a food token, or you can make a like 1/1 soldier token or something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
give us your people, your food, or your money
yeah.
for the war effort. I like that. Okay, so
Or
like
like a
maybe it's like a different version of like Black Market Connections.
yeah,
So okay, yeah. But that's the end of all the teasers we have, and
yep.
on March 18th we got to do the you got to turn in for the Dragonstorm duets debut stream. I can't read the debut stream at the end of his article. It says, and then next week is when we get full on spoilers. Season begins.
Yep, the 18th. So this episode should come out on St. Patrick's Day. So if you're listening to this, it'll be the next day.
Wear
And
green, or we'll pinch you.
hopefully, hopefully I'll have a preview card for you guys. We'll see. I'll know by this weekend whether or not I get one. But for sure, I'll have all kinds of Dragonstorm content coming at you, being an
Looking
ambassador.
forward
So
to it.
yeah, really happy about that, and we'll be for sure opening some product. So looking forward to that.
Yep. So excited. We got to be your brand ambassador for the coolest set of the year. So
Yeah.
some people might say that's Final Fantasy or Spider-Man, but whatever. All right, cool. Looking forward to Tarkir talk,
Yeah,
spoiler
looking
talk.
forward to seeing how many of these cards we got right and guessed right on.
Come on, we did it. We've done it before. We can do it again.
Yeah, we'll at least get one. So
All right. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And Josh, sign him out.
all right, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.